Hello everyone and a very good evening. So before we straight away start the session, quickly let me know if I am perfectly visible and audible to everyone out there or not. Quickly, Ocean says hello. Quickly just write in the chat window and I'll understand. Fahima, hi ma'am, how are you? Aryan, hey ma'am. The GIF guy, hola. Okay, Aryan says yes. Papiya, yes. Chitra, Aryan, clearly visible. Abhijit, yes ma'am. Shavitha, hi ma'am. All right, so there is no glitch at all, so we can continue. So welcome all of you to this wonderful session today. Well, this is the first session on our new channel BYJU'S class 8, 9 and 10, and we have planned a very exciting calendar for you, loaded with fun and learning from all the topics. So please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified about the forthcoming sessions. Alright, so as you would have seen the title of the video, today we will be discussing questions from the chapter number system, right? So before we start off with the questions, let's first take a look what all content do we have in this chapter. So these are the contents from this chapter, and there is no change in the syllabus for this chapter, so we need to study all the 5 concepts: irrational numbers, real numbers and their decimal expansion, representing real numbers on the number line, operation on real numbers, and laws of exponents for real numbers. Alright, so these are the topics. So I'll be discussing questions today on each one of them. So without wasting any more time here, let's start off with the questions, and this is the difficulty level meter that you can see here, right? So if you see 2 greens over here, this shows that it's an easy level question. If you see yellows over here, that means it's a moderate level one. If you see orange and red over here, it means it's a difficult level question. So based on the difficulty level of the question, you would know how much time you have to spend on that question during the exam and how to prepare those questions, right? It will help you prepare accordingly. So let's start off with this, but before I start to solve, I want you to report your answers to me, and those who do not know how to solve, that's okay, they can follow me. Alright, so the value of square root of 32 plus square root of 48 upon root 8 plus root 12 is, 4 options are there. So how do we find out this value? Well, there is this very simple way. See, in all the questions, I'll be telling you small tips and strategies how you can. How do you know? Like sometimes what happens, especially in mathematics, you read a question, then you go blank, like what to do, where do I start from, which concept to use. So I'll be telling you small tips for these things, alright. Now we can see that there are square roots everywhere, right. So what we can do is, simply we can write square root of 32 as 16 times 2 under the root, correct. 32 can be written this way. Rationalization can also be done. Root 48 can be written as 16 times 3, square root of 16 times 3. Root 8 could be written as square root of 4 times 2, and this is 4 times 3. See why this method, why I'm telling you this method, because it will be more simpler, right. Second thing, it will save your time during the exam, and there will be lesser chances of making any calculation errors in this. Alright, so what we can see here, square root of 16 is what? That's basically 4, and root 2 will remain as it is. Plus again root 16 is 4 and root 3 remains as it is. In the denominator, we have root 4, right? Root 4 is what? That's 2. So 2 is here and we have square root here. Ma'am, can we do this with rationalization? Yes, that can be done, but in that case, it will be calculations will increase and there will be more chances of making calculation errors, and that would be more time consuming as well. That's why I'm giving you the methods which are more simpler and they're more time saving also. So what I can see here is that from the numerator I can take 4 common, from the denominator I can take 2 common. So once you take common, what do you have? Inside the bracket we have square root of 2 plus square root of 3, right? So this will get cancelled out. What do we have here? 2 times 1 and this is 2 times 2. So answer over here is 2, right? So if you see that using this method, this question became very simple for us, right? Manisha says these steps are very easy. Yes. Alright, so option B is the right answer. Diya, video is not clear. Please refresh once. Alright, let's move to the next question. And we can see here that this is also an easy one, right? The value of 81 to the power minus 2, 4th root, right, is. So in such kind of questions, what we simply do is, you just have to apply the laws of exponents, right? So that means Here we can see that m is inside and here we have nth root. This can be written as 1 by n. So whatever you have here, that comes in the denominator. Okay. Alright. So we have a to the power m times n. Simply it becomes a to the power m n. And if it is a to the power minus n, then to remove this minus sign, we take the reciprocal of this number. This becomes 1 upon a to the power n. If you know these laws of exponents, then questions like this would be very easy for you to solve. Alright, so we can write this as 81. 81 can be written as this 81 to the power minus 2, and here you can see that we learned this rule, right? If there is something like this you have, you can simply write it as a to the power 1 by n, right? That's what we are doing here. 4 is here, so I have written that as 1 by 4. Okay. Alright. YT shorts, I didn't understand. See, we have just begun with this question. So just pay attention. You will be able to understand it clearly. So what I'm doing here is everything is written as it is except this. This is written as 1 by 4 using the law of exponent, right? Now I can write this 81 as 9 square. Correct? 81 can be written as 9 square. Rest everything is same, you see. We have minus 2 here, we have 1 by 4 here, right? Don't forget to put these brackets, right? Otherwise it will create a confusion for you. Now this 2 times minus 2 would be minus 4. So this becomes 9 to the power minus 4, and outside the bracket you have 1 by 4, right? So what happens here is we have 9 to the power minus 4 and whole power is 1 by 4, right? So that means simply I'll multiply them. This gets cancelled out. What do we have here? We have 9 to the power minus 1. I told you one thing in the laws of exponents. If you have something like this, a to the power minus n, it is written as 1 upon a to the power n. So the negative power, negative exponent becomes positive in that case, right? So that means it becomes 1 by 9 in this case. That should be our final result. Okay. Papia says it's B. No, B can't be the answer. Answer is 1 by 9. So Shmita 1 by 9. Navdeep says, ma'am, you have become my favorite teacher. Thank you, Navdeep. Okay, Bhagirathi says 1 by 9. Himanshu 1 by 9. Quickly write your answers in the chat window. Okay, Bhagirathi 1 by 9. Parbati 1 by 9. Yes. Himanshu 1 by 9. Okay. Alright, so Shabita, Parbati, Nikhil, Fahima, Anjana, absolutely 1 by 9 is the answer. So we have understood this question, right? So option A is the correct answer for this. Yes, Aryan. Yes, absolutely. This is 1 by 9 over here. Now let's move to the next one. Okay. So here we can see that this question is a moderate level one. Alright. So what is the value of 1.9999 so on in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q is not equal to 0. We have 4 options over here. So can you see that this number 1.9999, we have to write this in P by Q form, right? Had it been 1.9 and I was supposed to write if I had to write 1.9 in P by Q form, it was very simple. I would just remove the decimal, I'll write it as 19 by 10, right? Because this has a terminating decimal expansion. But if you look at this number, this has a non-terminating but repeating decimal expansion. So what do we do in such cases? Well, there is a very simple method that we follow for that. That means first you assume this given number as x, right? So just pay attention what I am explaining to you. This given number you can take as x, right? So since here I can write this as 1.9 bar, right? This dash, this line over here at over 9, this means that 9 is the repeating digit over here, right? The digit which is repeating, that has got a bar over it. Okay. So here 9 is a repeating digit, only one digit is repeating. So in that case, I'll multiply this equation by 10. Since one digit was repeating, so I multiplied this by 10, this becomes 10x. Since you multiplied by 10, decimal will shift one place to the right, this becomes 19.99999, so on, right? Now what you have to do is you simply have to subtract these two equations that you have formed. That means 10x minus x is equals to 19.9999 minus 1.9999, that's 18. So we get 9x equals to 18, x would be equals to what? X would be equals to 18 by 9, that means it's going to be equals to 2 in this case, and that's our final result. Okay, Parbati 2, Vijay 2, Sushmita, Avtar, Sagar, yes, absolutely, 2 is the answer. Mohammed Hashim, yes, 2. Absolutely. So option C is the right answer for this question. So this question is clear to all of you, right? Cool. So let's move ahead. A rational number between root 2 and root 3 is, okay. If you carefully notice this, this is a moderate one, right? Root 2 and root 3 are what? These are irrational numbers, right? These are irrational numbers, and we are looking for a rational number between two irrational numbers, correct? Now what I'll do is, I'll be discussing each of these options with you, okay? So for some cases, we will be using the number line also, right? So for case 1, if you carefully observe this, we have root 2 plus root 3 by 2. If you look at the numerator, we have root 2 plus root 3. So numerator over here is what? It's irrational, right? The numerator in the given expression is irrational, and division of a irrational with a rational number is always irrational. So this is an irrational number, so this definitely can't be our answer. We are looking for a rational number here, right? Let's take a look at option B. That's root 2 times root 3, which is what? It's actually root 6 by 2. Again, the numerator is what? That's irrational. Division of a irrational and a rational number will always be irrational. So this also can't be our answer. Now we are left with two options. Option C, that's 1.5. Now let's plot first root 2 and root 3 on a number line, right? So between 0 to 1, so we have divided them accordingly as 1 units, okay? So this 0 to 1, this distance is 1 unit. Let's draw a line of 1 unit over here, perpendicular line. So using the Pythagoras theorem, this becomes root 2. Now using the compass, if I plot root 2 on the number line, it will be here. That's root 2, correct? Now in the same way, correct, yes Navdeep, first we eliminated irrational numbers. See, this way it becomes easier for you to look for the right answer. First you can eliminate the ones that you feel that this definitely can't be the answer. Yes? Okay. Now let's plot root 3 on the number line. Now this much part between 0 to root 2 on the number line, right? This shows what? This is root 2. So this is root 2. Now we draw a perpendicular of 1 unit. Using the Pythagoras theorem, this becomes what? This becomes root 3 now, correct? Because you see root 2 square plus 1 square give you hypotenuse square. That's 2 plus 1 equals to hypotenuse square. That's basically root 3, correct? So let's plot root 3 over here now. This is root 3. So root 2 is what? Root 2 is actually 1.414, right? It's again, basically it's a rational number, and root 3 is 1.732 dot dot dot. So definitely 1.5 will lie between, if you look at the first two digits here, definitely it will lie between root 2 and root 3. So 1.5 is between them. It's a rational number between these two irrational numbers, root 2 and root 3. All right. Now let's see where 1.8 can be. So definitely 1.8 will lie after root 3. It will be here. Yes, it will lie after, it will come after root 3. That's 1.8. That means between root 2 and root 3, the number that we have is the rational number that we have is 1.5. That's option C over here. Sushmita, yes, it's options, it's 1.5. Preeti, option C. Vaishnavi, yes, C. Mavish, yes. Papiya, yes, absolutely. It's option C in this case. Yes, root 2 is 1.414, root 3 is 1.732. Then obviously the answer would be 1.5 because 1.5 is greater than root 2. Absolutely, right. All right, so this, we have understood this, like how to find this out. But see, I drew a number line, I showed that to you just to explain you. But if you solve this question on your own, it will take just a few seconds to solve this. Why? Because you knew that these two options can't be your answer. These are irrational. You knew the value of root 2 and root 3 already, right? When you knew the value, you don't have to draw a number line for that. You can just straight away tell, okay, this is lying between root 2 and root 3, correct? So this will take just a few seconds to answer this question. Now let's take a look at the next one. This, you can see that this is a moderate level question. Now here we have to represent the following numbers on the number line. So first I'll draw a number line, then I'll be representing these numbers one by one, right? Okay. So this is the number line we have here, right? Between -1 to 8, we have divided them equally. All right. So now first I have to represent 7. That's a very simple question, right? Just represent 7 on the number line. 7 is here, correct? Now next we have to plot 7.2 2 on the number line, right? To plot 7.2 on the number line, definitely it will lie to the right of 7. So this is the number line, right? It will lie somewhere between 7 and 8, right? Now I have divided this region between 7 and 8 into 10 equal parts, you can see, right? So here each part is actually representing 0.1. Each of this division is representing 0.1. So 7.2 will lie towards the right. So it will be here, this point over here, this division represents 7.2. Yes. Alright, now let's take a look at how to plot minus 3 by 2. Now minus 3 by 2 is basically minus 1.5. I know that it will lie somewhere between minus 2 and minus 1, right? Minus 1.5 is nothing but that's minus 1 minus 0.5, right? This is the number line that we have. Between minus 2 and 1, we have divided that into 10 equal parts, this region, right? Alright, so 10 equal parts, that means each of these parts over here representing 0.1. So this is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 like this, right? So here we have this as 0.5. So this is 0.5, that means minus 1 minus 0.5. We have to move towards the left. It will be closer to this, towards the left hand side. That means this over here is nothing but that's minus 1.5 over here, correct? Alright, let's take a look at minus 12 by 5 now, which is minus 2.4. So this is the number line. It will lie somewhere between minus 3 and minus 2. We have divided this region into 10 equal parts again. So it will lie to the left of minus 2, right? Because towards the left, the negative numbers are increasing. Okay. So here this is minus 2.1, minus 2.2, minus 2.3, and that's minus 2.4 over here. So that's how we can plot these numbers on the number line, correct? So this is the way. I hope that you all have understood this, how to plot the numbers on the number line. That was very simple, right? Now let's take a look at the next one. Find 3 rational numbers between the following. So you can see 4 options over here, and we have to plot, we have to find out 3 rational numbers between each of one of them. So I'll be solving them one by one. All right. Shalini says, nice teaching, ma'am. Thank you, Shalini. All right. Okay, so let's start with this. So minus 1 and minus 2. Okay, I'll tell you 2 things to solve this. When you are looking for rational numbers between 2 rational numbers, let's suppose I have 2 rational numbers A and B. Without even drawing the number line, how we are doing it? Let's suppose I've got 2 rational numbers A and B. To find a rational number between them, simply you add them up and you divide by 2. You get A plus B by 2. Let's suppose I need a rational number between minus 1 and minus 2. So simply I can add these numbers up and I divide that by 2. I get minus 3 by 2, which is nothing but that's minus 1.5. It will lie on this number line, right? Similarly, you can look for the other rational numbers as well. Hema, ma'am, video is not clear. Hema, refresh the screen once. All right. So another thing that you can do is you can divide the number line. So like we have divided this number line into 10 equal parts, right? So that means here this is 1.1, this is 1.2, right? This is 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 and so on like this. So we have the numbers minus 1.5 then and minus 1.8. So without even drawing the number line also, you can find out the rational numbers. Like here I got minus 3 by 2, which is minus 1.5. Here also I'm getting the same thing. Now let's suppose I have between minus 2 and minus 1, I have got minus 1.5. Now I can find a number between them using the same thing, add them up, divide by 2. Or you can add them up, divide by 2. Like this you can find any rational, n number of rational numbers between any 2 rational numbers, right? Alright. Now let's take a look at the second part. We have 0.1 and 0.11, right? So this is the number line. So 0.1 can be written as 0.100. We can put any number of zeros after the decimal point, yes? And here it's 0.110. Now if we have divided this region again into 10 equal parts, I can say that this is 0.101, 0.102, 0.103 like this. And we can plot the numbers between them like this. We have 0.102, 0.105, 0.108. Like this you can find any number of rational numbers, right? So here we have got these 3 rational numbers, right? And another way to do it, like I told you, you add them up, you divide by 2, right? Okay, all right. Deepak says, your teaching is too good, ma'am. Thank you, BYJU'S, for conducting these sessions. Thank you, Deepak. I'm glad that you're liking it. All right. Now let's take a look at the third part. We have 5 by 7 and 6 by 7. So now what we can see here is that both of them are rational numbers, their denominator is same, but numerator is 5 and 6. How do I find the three rational numbers between them? 5 and 6 are just consecutive. So what you can do in such cases is you can multiply the numerator and denominator by a same number, probably a bigger number, right? So that you can find out, n number of rational numbers between them. Like I have multiplied the numerator and denominator here by 10. So that both of them have the same denominator. This is important. They should have the same denominator. By whatever number you are multiplying in the denominator, you have to multiply by the same number in the numerator also, right? This is 60 and this is, right? This is 50. So between 50 to 60, between 50 by 70 and 60 by 70. So basically between 50 to 60, there are so many numbers, 51 by 70, 52 by 70, 53 by 70, so on. So we can find out any, like so many numbers between them. This is 52 by 70, that's 55 by 70, that's 58 by 70. Or the other method if you want to use, like a plus b by 2, that also you can do without even drawing the number line, right? Yes, Shalini says, can we multiply that by 4? If I multiply the numerator and denominator by 4, I get 20 by 28, and here also I get 24 by 28. Denominator is same. But between these numbers, I'll have 21, 22, 23. Yes, 3 rational numbers we can find out using this also. But let's suppose if you need 4 rational numbers, then in that case, you cannot multiply by 4, right? So you have to look for these things. All right. Yes. Okay, let's take a look at question number 4 now. 1 by 4, I mean part 4, 1 by 4 and 1 by 5. Between them, again, we will do the same thing. Let's make their denominators same, right? Numerators are same this time. So I'll multiply here, let's suppose I'm multiplying the denominator by 20. So numerator will also have to be multiplied by 20. Similarly here as well, right? 16 by 80, 20 by 80. Simply let's write down the numbers between them, right? So between 16 by 80, 20 by 80, we have 18 by 80. You can say, you can add these numbers up, you get 36 by 80, divide by 2, that's 18 by 80. Even if you don't do that, between 16 and 20, you have 17, 18 and 19, right? These are the 3 rational numbers that we have between them. So any of the methods you can use to solve this. So these are the 3 rational numbers between 1 by 4 and 1 by 5. All right. Now let's take a look at the next question. This is a difficult level 1, like you can see here. Express 0.6 plus 0.7 bar plus 0.47 bar in the form p by q, where p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0, right? So here what we have to do is, first we have to express each one of them in the p by q form to find this out. Now 0.6 is basically, it has a terminating decimal expansion, right? Let's first write that in fractional form. So let's assume that x is 0.6, right? And since there is 1 digit after the decimal point, I'll simply multiply both the sides by 10, just to remove this decimal from here. So we have 10x equals to 6. So x would be equals to 6 by 10. 2 times 3, 2 times 5. That's going to be 3 by 5, right? So we have got the value of x from here. So 0.6 can be written as 3 by 5. So 0.6 is equals to 3 by 5 from here. In a similar manner, we are going to find out 0.7 bar, right? Okay, so let's first convert that. Let's assume this to be y. Now there is 7 bar. That means this digit 7 is repeating over here, right? So we write 777 and dot dot dot. Okay, now there is bar is on 1 digit, right? This is the repeating number. So I'll multiply this by 10 so that it shifts here. The decimal shifts here. We have 7.777. All right, now I'm just going to subtract these 2 equations, and what do we get? We get here 10y minus y is equal to 7. That's going to be 9y equals to 7. So y would be equals to 7 by 9. That means 0.7 bar can be written as 7 by 9. Vivek says, nice explanation. Thank you, Vivek. Hey ma, I'm going to score full marks in the chapter. Absolutely. So just practice as much as questions you can. Definitely you can score full in maths, because mathematics, I would say, is the easiest subject out of all the subjects, right? All right, let's find out for 0.47 bar now. Let's convert that in fractional form. So first we assume that as z, 0.4777, right? Now to shift the decimal here, I'll multiply this by 10. So what does it become? It becomes 10z equal to 4.777. Now just, just to make the calculation simpler, what I'm doing here is I'm multiplying, rather multiplying by 10, I'll multiply this by 100, this given number, right? If I multiply this by 100, this becomes 100z equals to 47.777, right? Okay, now what we will do is simply we are going to subtract them. Okay, once you subtract them, what do we have here? We have 100z minus 10z equals to 43, right? So that's going to be 90z equals to 43. So z would be equals to 43 by 90. So here z is nothing but that's actually 0.47 bar equals to 43 by 90. Now let's suppose if you solve this question without just by multiplying by 10, right, like we did in the previous ones, you would get the same answer in that case also. So just to make the calculation simpler, we multiplied by 100, this one, right? All right. So we have got the values for 0.47 bar. Ramesh, I couldn't understand. See, simply what we are doing here is we are assuming this as z. So we have 0.477, right? So to shift the decimal, we are shifting one place, so we multiply by 10. That's going to be 4.777, right? Now, to make the calculation simpler, I am multiplying this equation by 100 actually. That becomes 100z equals to 47.777. Now then we subtracted these two. Even if you don't apply this step, you use the first ones like the z1, this one and this one. You subtract them, you would get the same answer in that case also, right? Okay, so how to choose whether we have to multiply it by 10 or 100? See, we do this so that after the decimal point, the recurring digits are together, right? Like here the recurring digits are together after the decimal point. Here as well they are together. It's just that sometimes we might come across with different questions. Like in this question, even if you don't use this step, you use 10z and z, you would get the same answer. Let's suppose you have a number like 0.45666. In such cases, 6 is the repeating digit. So you will have to multiply by 100 in that case, so that the recurring digits are together. That's why I explained you this thing. Pushpanjali ma'am, why multiply 10 this question? I don't understand. See, we multiplied by 10, you can multiply by 100 also. Why I multiplied by 10 here? So that because 7 was the repeating digit. So we have 4.777. So just to make the calculation simpler so that the recurring digits are together here, I multiplied this by 100. So we had these two equations over here, right? All right. Okay, black gold, you have understood. Deepak says clear. All right, awesome. So we have got the values for all of them in the fractional form. All we have to do is we are just going to add them up, right? Yes, now this which method we use is not matter, solely matter that is our method should be correct or not. Absolutely, the method should be correct, that doesn't matter how you solved it. Sneha says understood, Deepak says understood. Awesome. Okay, so now what we are doing is simply I have substituted the values here of x, y and z. I'm just going to solve them. So what do we get here? On simplifying this, let's take the LCM. That's going to be 90, right? So this is 18 times 5 is 90, 18 times 3 is 54. That's 10 times 7 is 70 and this is 43. So what do we get here? We simply get 167 by 90. So we have represented all of them in the P by Q form, you can see. Akash understood 167 by 90. Avatar, it's not 164 by 90. Okay, Pushpanjali, okay ma'am. Padhaku, ma'am, please explain it again. Okay, see what we have done here is simply first I converted 0.6 in P by Q form. You simply get 6 by 10, that's 3 by 5. Then we converted 0.7 bar in P by Q form. What do we get here? On simplifying this, it's basically x, right? You multiplied by 10x because 7 was only repeating digit here. So that becomes what? That becomes 7.7 bars. So 10x would be equals to, basically we subtract these two equations, you get 9x is equals to 7. So x is equals to 7 by 9, right? Now 0.47 bar in the similar manner, I assume that, sorry, this was y, not x. This is y. Here also we have got y. So y and this is y. Similarly, we assumed z as 0.47 bar, right? So I can simply multiply this by 10 and we get 4.47 bar. So if you want, you can subtract here also. You get 9z equals to, so if you subtract this thing, you are going to get 4.3. Z would be 4.3 by 9, that's 43 by 9. Here you can use the other one also, that you multiply by 100. Ravindra, I just explained the same thing. So 6 by 10, simply remove the decimal, you get 3 by 5, and 0.7 bar, we multiplied by 10 since there was a, the bar was only on one digit. So we get 7 by 10, 7 by 9. Similarly for the last one, it's 43 by 90. Simply once you get that in fractional form, add them up, simplify it, you get 167 by 90. Sneha says doubt clear. All right. Okay, someone says screen is not clear. Please refresh once. All right, okay, let's move to the next question now. So this one you can see that it's a moderate level question. So if root 2 is 1.414, root 3 is 1.732, then find the value of this given expression here. Okay, tell me one thing. What should we do here? Shall I put the value of root 2 and root 3 over here and then we simplify this? Can we use this method? First I am putting these values over here and then I further simplify this. Yes? Latha says yes ma'am. Okay. Ravindra says okay, understood. Great. Yes. So shall I put these values? Rishu says no. Gargi says no. Anmol no. Anjana no. Fahima says yes.